Peace World. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. I'm going to jump right into it. Keep it really funky on my season 2 thoughts on Apple TV Plus's C. It's an 8-episode show, in its sophomore run on, Apple, which is is one of the, I don't know if it's one of the newer streamers, but definitely one that I'm getting on to late, and really only because with the purchase of an iPhone, I was able to take advantage of a free 1-year subscription. So look, I'm not gonna waste y'all's time. I tell you up front, some spoilers in here, but nobody really has time to listen to 15 minutes of whatever, some random dude's opinion on this stuff. So I'm gonna just tell you, I'm gonna get the skinny is this. I got 8 things since it's only 8 episodes. This doesn't necessarily, the 8 topics that I'm gonna mention don't necessarily correspond to each episode in any numbers, just 8 things. I think, so let me step back really quickly. I'm watching the show. I like the show. I'm a huge fan of Jason Momoa and him in the sword, shield game, warfare, ancient warfare. That's his wheelhouse. So I'm pulling in for him. I have come to like the actress that plays Queen Magra. And I think the concept of a blind world, I do think it's fascinating. I just think the execution has failed at specific times. I'm gonna keep watching the show, but I'm seeing some of the things that I'm gonna mention here that I'm noticing a pattern. I have downgraded the show. Like, it's not appointment viewing for me. It just isn't. But it's not horrible. And I'm being considerate of the fact that maybe, like I said, the 8 episodes is not a plus. And then Apple, who knows where they are with trying to support and fund this thing, this series on the right scale for it. So anyway, let me jump in. Number 1, Jerla Morel, the grand planner. All this mythology seemed to be based around him in the first season, and the first 8 episodes. His grand world build, what is it? America, build back America. Like, and this is based in Eastern, the Eastern United States and whatnot, or the tip of the Midwest with Pennsylvania. But all of this meticulous planning that he did and everything, the first 2-3 episodes, Jerla Morel this, Jerla Morel that, they wasted the character. I'm sorry, they just did. We did see his kids, one of his oldest sons, Olaman. We did see him pop up at the end. It seems to have some new munitions, some explosives. So maybe Jerla Morel's offspring, make a comeback in season 3. Number 2, C's scale. Again, is the 8-episode format working for it? I don't know. The change in the intro song and the graphics and everything, we didn't see that in Game of Thrones. You heard that same boring song, which became boring, but you heard that same song for all 8 seasons or whatever it was. Same thing with a show like Yellowstone. So I don't know if that big change there on the intro and the opening credits and all of that, I don't know if that just signaled to us right there that they were going in a completely different direction. And will we see the same thing for season 3? Again, speaking of scale, sometimes these armies have like 8 dudes standing there. Sometimes they have 40 dudes standing there. And I started comparing this to a show like, I think it was called The Kingdom with Utrecht on Netflix. Even The Kingdom scale is a lot more, it allows the show to be what they wanted it to be, in my opinion. And I just think with C, maybe that money isn't there from Apple to really pull this off the way that it could be pulled off. 3, the action and violence is high level for C. I love the action scenes and the fighting and the killing. Sorry, just keeping it funky. But it's confusing as hell because when they go to war and when it's, hand-to-hand combat, and I know they said the Travantians they seem like they had a certain scent, but when you got 70 dudes going all in like we see here in episode 8, I'm not on video, but I could envision that big home run swing, decapitating blow that Baba Voss does, and then you kneel down and find the head that you just chopped off, and you're like, oh snap, that's Tamakti June. My bad, bro. I need you. Or one of his other bowlion or somebody. I don't know. They don't really go. They never really have. They've touched on it to a degree, but I don't know. But I'm not trying to complain because honestly, I think the whole ice, spoiler alert, the whole ice scene, I thought brought it home. I thought that was dope. I thought they kind of ruined it that was telegraphed with Ren falling in the ice and then coming back. How come she was the only one that could survive? Travantians don't know how to swim? That was telegraphed to me, but whatever. But that whole scene with the throwing the ropes down, the tribe, the free or the scattered tribe, whatever they were, all of them showing up. Not the most original idea neither, but the ropes with the bells on the end of it and everybody knowing to get the hell out of Dodge before the boulder can. I thought that was decent. That was decent. Number 4, unexpected exits. My man Toad and then Paris. Now, if they go back and bring Paris back like they did to Tamakti June, you can only go to that well so many times. But I'm just a little confused. Paris is such an integral character, being that she was aware of, Queen Kane, she saved Queen Kane. So it's very interesting that they chose to get rid of such a principal character, with such a gift, with having a version of sight, with her visions and premonitions and whatnot. I was dumbfounded when Queen Kane did her in the way that she done in a few other people, Boots and a couple other people, that she did what she's done in with the little trick shot inside fighting / throat slash thing. 6, Ito, another big planner wasted. Ito had Dave Bautista again. Maybe they didn't have the budget to pay for him for a second season. But he had all these grand plans, and he too wanted to embrace Sight and bring Sight back to the world. And you see, he had the little shorty up top calling out the dope ass directions. It was taking control of the war with Shorty calling out the 1 quarter right, aim high. So anyway, but he never got around to maybe he did, figuring out Rin was the reason why Haniwa got away, and that she was compromised. But again, he just gets chopped up, disemboweled or whatever at the end, fighting his brother. We didn't really get a full explanation. They've danced around what's going on with the father and the 2 brothers. I thought the sword scene where Baba was stabbed. I thought he was stabbed, but he catches the blade and then turns it on. I thought that was that wasn't a great, I didn't like the execution of that scene. But he wasn't injured enough to go finally be able to get back with his wife, to celebrate the victory and whatnot. Also, I got this one mixed up. Number 5. This should have been number 5. I just said that was 6. Number 5 was Queen Kane staves off what needs to happen. She needs to be killed. But like I just mentioned, Paris stands up, and that was cheesy too. She's with child. And come on. And then it took forever for Margaret to get around. Like, nobody asking this woman who she laid with. And then my man ain't even, maybe that's why he was so adamant about let me go off to war. Cause when my mama find out that I hit her sister and let me get out of here. But she made the comment at the end, I've been in these chains before, Margaret. She said, don't play around, don't get too comfortable with my crown. I've gotten out of these chains before. This is nothing. I'm tired of that whole play in series where usually it's the hero that's like no weapons, a loincloth on, basically bruised and battered and under the knife of the enemy, the arch nemesis, and then they get out of it time and time again. And I think Queen came, I don't know, man. I don't know. And Tamati June of all people would have been like, look, Paris, I know that's savage to kill an unborn child and whatnot, but it is from her nephew, fathered by her nephew, and it's from her, so it's going to be evil AF. So let's just stomp it out now and move on. But, they got to do what they got to do for the show. Number 7, I actually dig Ferrick and the rest of the dissenters who didn't accept the overnight change. Like, we've been doing this. I really didn't like the phrase and labeling the cited as witches. So they're witch finders. And now Margaret's like, well, you need a new role. And anybody who doesn't want to agree and take the new marching orders, feel free to, to recuse yourself now. I like that. I think that would have been unrealistic that you make this decree and over, in a split second, everybody's just going to somehow embrace the cited. So I thought that was pretty legit that General Ferrick and them other people walked off and was like, nah, we're good. We're going to keep hunting down cited people who can see us coming from a mile away. Anyway. Number 8, I thought it was also fitting that Baba Voss was like, you know what, man, I ain't no suit and tie dude. I'm not an industry dude. I'm not an urban dweller. I'm going to stay out here with these woods and in my element. I done lost my people needlessly since my wife was of royalty and whatnot. And then I think also, which I'm wondering, does Harlan now truly move in now on Magra? But the thing is this, and he came to realize it in altruism from real life. If you get involved with any woman and you're not the father of her children, it's always going to be a barrier between you and that woman. And despite the fact of what the family's gone through and what he meant to the family and the kids getting to the age that they're at and so on and so forth, and probably being a critical part in the planning that took down the Travantians, with them leading them through that little narrow corridor and pouring the oil out there and setting that on fire. I thought that was a good line. Like, you from the woods and you can't start a fire. And here I am getting on to be 15 minutes. But let me finish this off. But yeah, when you're not the real baby daddy, it's always going to be that barrier there. And I think it's interesting that they've chosen to break this family up for a second time in as many seasons. And we'll see what happens in the future. So again, I don't hate the show, but I just told you some things that are a little loose to me. And, maybe Jerla Morel's offspring come back, in this third season and do some things. But I'm just kind of, at least with the aforementioned The Kingdom, I believe is the name of the show on Netflix. At least I was into it heavy for the first 4 seasons, I think. And now, how many more wars, how many times can Uhtred, son of Uhtred, save them and whatnot. So I've kind of cooled on it a little bit. But I just keep tuning in because I support Momoa. Anyway, that's it, man. Pay me no mind if you disagree, but I'd love to hear what you think about it. As I always say, man. Damn, and I forgot it that quick. But You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.